Hello there. Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. It's a beautiful sunshiny day here in the Clearwater, Florida area along the waterfront with Buddy Love, finding my inner peace, trying to find a little calm within this crunchy corner. How is everyone doing on this Tuesday? Are you having tacos this Tuesday? Are you getting tickled? It's got to be tasty no matter what it is. Let it be a juicy, tasty Tuesday, right? Top this, right? Hi Stella, hi honey. So I thought I'd just pop on. I wasn't even sure that I was going to go live, so I didn't bring all of my gear, let's say. So I'm standing here under a palm tree with the phone attached to the palm frond pieces. It's a great setup, by the way, it works. So here's where I'm at. And again, life is just like a roller coaster, and you just got to take those curves and those turns and lean into them. It's all part of the ride. It's about playing. We can turn around and say we don't play a game, but we're playing all the time. It's just how you interpret and utilize your skills, because that inner child can groove. You just got to trust it and learn to move with it. So like I said, like a roller coaster ride, life, it's got its ups and its downs, and you're just there for the ride. Emergency. Coming through. Pardon me. Hold that thought. So to me, life isn't quote unquote a game. I think it's more like, we can say a game, but so many people see the word game and think derogatory, like something that takes away from. But, if you look in terms of being that child, you want to play, playing doesn't always have to involve a game where someone wins, but everybody wins if you just get out and just participate, right? So engagement. So again, going back to the roller coaster, life is just like that, and you have to learn to lean into the curves, the turns, the twists. Allow yourself to be moved around in all these different ways, because how can you know without these changes, these contrasts, the shifting, the turning of the tides, how to move with things, how to adapt, become flexible, overcome, rewrite your story through recognizing that, wait, that's not the way I thought it was going to turn out. And my past beliefs and experiences are trying to dictate, but the reality is it doesn't have any purpose other than to show you the contrast of what that was like, not to dictate what is happening in the moment or going to happen in the future. The past is really to serve you in the way to go, oh, maybe that felt good, or I felt really bad, or whatever it was. Now I understand what it is that resonates for me and feels best for me. So, in truly, I can tell you, right, Nikki? So many of the thoughts and feelings that are coming up for a lot of us right now are just the idea that it doesn't feel familiar, it doesn't feel comfortable. What is going on? What is my next step? What is my life supposed to look like? Am I doing the right things? Am I really hanging on by a thread? Or am I just impatient, not waiting for that miracle around the corner? And that when you get glimpses, you need to cherish and be grateful and appreciate them when you get them. Because when you have those insights, those amazing moments where you're hugging and kissing and loving and days are just beautiful, and you get one little hiccup along the way, how do you handle it? How do you show up? Are you stuck in that one hiccup? Are you able to catch onto that wave of what was riding beforehand when you were just in your glory and your joy, appreciating and love and light, right? So when we're elevated, when we rise, it's like you gotta stay on it. And sometimes something's gonna come along and try to knock that wave out. Take it up from underneath you and try to throw in that loop, right? When you're on the roller coaster, you're afraid you're gonna fall when you go upside down, aren't you? But Has it ever happened to you? So the past can dictate certain things for your awareness, but it doesn't dictate how it's going to transpire, how it's going to turn out. If anything, all it does is serve as that contrast, that beautiful palette, right? The landscape of your life. Because isn't that what life is? Life truly is, it's an unfolding. It's experiences that create this big story. And what's your legacy going to look like? And what's it going to taste like? And how are you going to look back upon it? With regret, guilt, shame? Or with appreciation, gratitude, and going, wow, that was really just what it was. And I got to participate in every aspect of it. Because you're here, you're alive. And it's our perceived beliefs, our perceptions, it's everything that we've established that keeps us from moving forward, keeps us from being in the moment. It keeps us stuck in the past or agitated and anxious for the future, right? Fear is simply a barrier that keeps us from trying to do something new, trying to be. You know, a lot of times I think back to when I first started meditating, and it still happens, that I didn't want to be alone in my own head and my own thoughts, because I could be so judgmental, so critical upon myself, until I recognize that peace that I seek outside of myself doesn't exist unless it's within me. So we have to seek the peace within. We have to be the calm amongst the chaos and stop seeking peace outside of ourselves. That peace outside of ourselves is not going to complete or create that missing piece, that link. You know, when we feel the most pressure is usually when we're needing to take some form of action. And I've found in my own life that sometimes the action can be a form of inaction. It's just discerning whether or not it's something that I'm resisting doing or something that I need to do. Resisting in the sense that, oh, well, I keep putting it off. Or maybe, you know, and this is what goes through my mind, stuff that goes through my head. Maybe I need to just allow it to be the perfect time and just do it when it shows up. And I've had that happen in my life where I'm like, oh, I keep putting this off, and I'm beating myself up about it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, there's got to be a reason why I haven't done it yet. And then when it happens, it's like, it's much more easy. It's easier for it to unfold. It's easier to execute and do. Whereas any other time felt like there was force, resistance, or even just holding me back from getting in a different space, which was presence in the moment, being present. And that's probably the hardest thing about meditation, is noticing the gift within you, and presence within you is the gift to everyone else. And so when you can sit with yourself in silence, or even with all the garbled thoughts, constantly allowing them to drift in and out, because I go through this on a daily basis. I meditate, I can sit with stuff. Meditation is single-minded focus. Don't throw that aside and think, oh, well, meditation means I have to be quiet. It's sitting in an easy seated position or somehow. Meditation truly is single-minded focus, which means anything you're doing with your whole attention, focus upon, is a form of meditation. That means doing dishes, folding clothes, laundry, vacuuming, taking a walk, one foot in front of the other, taking a breath, petting an animal, that especially, right there, because they're the most present ever. They've got so much to teach us. That when we need to find something to make us feel better, what we really need to do is sit down and go, wow, you know what I'm really grateful for today? I'm out in the sunshine. I'm able to walk. I can focus on the problems, but all that's going to do is create and cause more problems in my life. And when I focus on the solutions, or even not even solutions, how about this? Focus on what's working, what works and what's going right in your life. Because just those simple little things of, well, I can't be bothered with this. This is something I hear a lot from again, I love my dad. He has certain key things that he says. I just can't be bothered. Well, confrontation is a tough one for a lot of people, because when you don't want to confront yourself and sit with yourself, be quiet for yourself, that is truly a gift to be able to do that, because you fear getting to the core of what you wish nobody else would see. Like, you don't want to see your crap. But the crap's good stuff too, people. I know my crap. I got a lot of crap. And I'm really, really grateful for all of it, because if it wasn't for the crap, I might not appreciate the good stuff when it showed up. So that's contrast, right? Can you see? Speaking of contrast, the lighting, everything shifts, right? Contrast is what makes life. If you look up in the sky, there's dimensions, there's textures, there's levels and colors and so much that you can focus on just looking up at a cloud and going, wow, this is the image I see. Just to yourself, you're seeing all this energy and motion. Something to take yourself out of the negative mind, let's say, out of the I know for me, I used to be very easy to focus on what wasn't working or to find what was wrong with things. I still do, but I actually find that it's more solution-oriented than it was just fixating on it. Okay, I see this is going to possibly arise. I'm going to find the solution, or maybe it'll shift me in going in a different direction. And I think that it's part of what motivates me a lot of times, especially like showing up for y'all, because I know that if I make a mistake, that's not really a mistake. To me, a mistake is simply me being guided on a different flow in a different direction that I may not have otherwise chosen for myself. Sometimes it has to be kind of like little nudges, right, along your path, your journey, and the universe has to say, hey, that isn't going to work. Okay, I can sit here and fight against it and go, well, why not? Why can't that work? That should work. My mind wants it to work. Or I can just soften and be humble enough to go, okay, let me take a deep breath. Let me evaluate the situation. Am I going to try to force things to happen? No. I did that too often in my life. And when I was trying to force things, that was when I was the most miserable. I was exhausted. That's what Brene Brown says. An inauthentic life is exhausting when you're not aligned with your soul, when you're not in soul flow, when you're not allowing yourself to embrace what is, and you're caught up in the trying to do things the way you think they should or how people told you they should be. The inauthentic life is exhausting. How many of you are waking up every morning so drained, so tired, doing the same thing day in, day out, and going, I can't handle this anymore? And see, that's what's happening. A lot of people are coming to this realization, and at a mass scale, and you're encountering other people, and everybody's stuff is being confronted, and everybody's coming together and going, I can't handle it, I'm not going to put up with this from you. But the reality is, it's not that you won't put it up with it from someone else, but the fingers, again, when we point one finger at another person, we're actually pointing 3 fingers back. So when you think you're the one doing something to me, it's really, what is it I'm doing to myself? Why is it someone else is showing up in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable? Well, maybe because I'm uncomfortable with myself to begin with. And so I've had to confront myself over the years and be humble enough to, even when I feel attacked, sit with it and ask myself, what is this bringing up for me? Where do I feel this in my physical body? How can I utilize this as an opportunity for growth? Just as uncomfortable as it may feel, as maybe unjust as it has been in my life. Little injustices in your life are what will a lot of times be the catalyst for the most growth in you as an individual, as a person, because we have to be rubbed the wrong way sometimes to get that glisten, that shine on. Diamonds aren't formed just because they're just pieces of black coal. Diamonds need pressure too. And so we're all diamonds in the rough. At some point, we're eventually going to have that glisten, that shine. And it's okay. We can embrace ourselves with all our past pains, hurts, and traumas. There's nothing wrong with any of it. And we don't need to make sense of it all. We just need to let go of the need to validate or justify. Or I know in my past, I wanted to vindicate for myself, for my family, for people I loved. How dare you do that to my person? You know, this loyalty game. When in reality, a lot of times maybe that person that I was so loyal to wasn't necessarily as perfect as the loyalty would have liked, right? So we can say, oh, well, you know, don't mess with my friend, which I admit we all have that, don't we? Don't mess with my sister. Don't mess with my family. Don't you mess with my doggy or my lover, my best friends. Or, you know, it goes even deeper for some people who are really into the labels. Like, you're talking about justifying this group. You can only do what you can do for you. And you can't, trying to fix other people is just a hindrance to your own evolution. When you're working on yourself, you're doing it for everyone else. You're holding the torch, you're giving other people permission, inspire through your own actions. Because no matter what other people do, you can't fix them and you can't make choices for them. So if they are resistant within themselves, they're going to be resistant to you, and vice versa. Who wants somebody else to step in and say, this is what I feel you should do? And a lot of us have had control issues over the years, right? How about that? Authority figures. Whatever that looks like to you. Who in your life really made you resistant? What made your will and ego so strong that you can turn around and say, don't you talk to me like that. Don't you try to control me. Don't you tell me what to do. And I was like that. I remember living in Italy. I remember friends of mine saying, don't let them steal your joy. Just be happy. My ego in my mind was going, who the hell are you? Did you just see what happened? Did you see that injustice? I want to be vindicated. I want someone to come to my rescue. I want someone to validate my behavior, right? It doesn't work that way. If someone else shows up to do that for you, it's not going to serve you. If anything, that's going to cause you bumps along your road, your journey, your evolution. It really is about just owning and being responsible for your actions. And don't take things personal. If someone tries to give you advice, kindly decline if that is not what you desire, but you can say it in a nice way, right? Hi, Brenda. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I think there's a lot of tension in the air, hence why I also shared that particular video, that Kundalini challenge. I do apologize if you've been watching those. I'm a little behind. I've been dealing with a lot of emotional stuff, and the way it shows up for me, aside from this, which is still healing, by the way, just in case anybody's wondering, it's in my stomach. And I've been on my moon cycle, so on top of that, my intuition is very heightened. I'm dealing with a lot of insights and a lot of reflection, but my stomach is doing some stuff, and I really don't know if it's fully just emotion or if it's still, it probably, and this is the thing, so with all of this that transpired, just sharing this on the side here, my stomach, if it did turn out to be wheatgrass, and I've been having these really massive twinges of pain. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning in so much pain, I almost didn't make it to sadhana, but I did get up and go. It's debilitating. And so when growing up, IBS, when I would get really constipated, when I get really, really panged in my abdomen, my stomach, down in my pelvic floor area, I'd be like, I literally, and a lot of people don't know this about me, I would be doubled over in pain, could not stand up straight. I didn't want to breathe because breathing made it feel more painful. So what happened? It was like I constricted, I held off, I cut off my own life force prana, I cut off my life. I was holding my breath so I wouldn't feel pain, but I was actually creating just as much pain instead of feeling into it. So this is something I've gleaned from this experience, this physical pain, and I know this is the hardest for those of us who have high thresholds. You can get what I'm saying here. When I have these pains, I have to breathe into them and I have to feel them. I can't, in the past, like I said, I would hold my breath, Now it's like, okay, let me be with it. Let me feel it, so that when I do expand my pelvic floor down into those areas of the tightness, of those areas of the feels like stabbing and constipation, that is actually going to help move the energy. It's going to allow your body to oxygenate, heal better from the inside out. Whereas holding on to the pain, which is what was my past, which is going back to exactly what I was just talking about, it's belief systems. Yes, honestly, Cheryl, it's like childbirth. I can actually attest that. It is extremely excruciating. And so here's how it translated in the emotional side into the physical side. And I don't know, maybe some of you can relate to this. When I felt the most emotionally upset in my life growing up, over the course of my life, I have found that it affects my stomach, because that's your emotional center, your gut, right? And so when I didn't speak up a lot, because I felt my parents weren't always there to listen. They weren't always available emotionally or, mentally, not even mentally really, just being there the way that I needed for that time. And this has been through the course of my life with other people as well, because what do? We attract where we're at. So I attracted the same kind of situations for my growth, of course. Whenever my emotions have been extremely heightened, upset, anxiety, depression, all of that, it's been in my stomach. And so at the time when a lot of these things were going on as a little girl and all the stuff that happened with me and my sisters, I found this was a big deal. I mean, literally, as a little girl, going to the bathroom, going to go poop, putting my arms across my stomach to press against it to try to create some way to massage, some way to make, hold on, so that maybe if I pushed against it, it would help feel it and soothe it, right? So what does that manifest? Another way to put that is, what was the need that might have been associated with that? Being embraced, being accepted, being held. And so when you feel like you don't have full support, your physical body lacks it as well, right? Your physical body will also exhibit the same signs. And look at how I was already trying to find a way for me to fix that. As a child, intuitively, I knew what I needed. I needed somebody to hold me, to embrace me, they have these blankets, the weighted blankets, because it helps with depression and anxiety. Same scenario. But do we put that together? How does it show up in your life? If I have stomach problems, that's my emotions, and I'm trying to press on it, but I'm not breathing into it. So I've cut off my own life support. I've cut off my own oxygen, my own breath. And now I'm trying to create some sort of like a soothing pressure, massage, touch. It's human touch. It's connection. It's being heard, which a lot of it is what it really was. And still to this day, I can see when it shows back up. And so for over the years of getting the bloating, I also know for myself, I've been known to withhold myself from others, which has been another form of manifestation of this same situation. So when I get pain in my belly, right? When I get pain in my belly and I start to feel discomfort, something emotional is connected. I don't always know what it is. And when the waves and the roller coaster ride happens and I'm trying to lean into the turns, I'm trying to breathe into the pain, I'm trying to sit with it, listen to it, meditate with it, ask, what is this trying to tell me about myself? What can I glean from this? How can I grow from it? That pain is there to serve, even if we don't want to believe that it's actually our teacher. But pain is our teacher, whether it be emotional or physical. If you don't deal with it when it's emotional, it will lodge and become physical. That's just been my experience. And you can only know for yourself. I can share mine, and maybe that'll shed some light on your own. But yes, so when you don't deal with something in the emotional realm, sit with it, listen to it, confront it, embrace it, thank it for serving you, because it's showing up for a reason. Again, whether it's an emotional pain or a physical pain, it's always an opportunity to grow and learn about yourself. It's always there to serve. I could say that over and over again. And it wasn't always easy for me to take care of my body in a more loving manner. Like I said, how dare you tell me to be happy? I'm going to go out and drink some more wine. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to drink good wine too. You know, I'm going to eat beautiful food. I'm going to chase after this unhealthy relationship, and then I'm also going to expect them to make me feel better by showing me. And I'm going to withhold my love, because if I withhold my love, maybe they'll prove themselves to me worthy of my love. How crazy is the mind that it would ever think that withholding your love is going to gain more love and it's going to make someone work harder to receive it? And why is that? It's an unequal flow of energy. If you want to receive love, you cannot withhold it. When you withhold that love from another person, you're actually cutting off your own love supply for yourself and that person. You're only hurting yourself. This is what is I'm feeling into today, Cheryl. There's so much that came up for me in the past 24 hours. Over the past few weeks and over this past over a month, I've really been challenged in my mind. My emotions have come up for me to confront my own life, where I go, you know, I'm not going to go into super details, but there are times where my mind is going, where the hell am I? What the hell am I doing? What is my path? How? But see, this kind of stuff happens for me to sit and go, we're really not doing so bad. It's doing it so that I can turn around and think of it this way. The universe wants to know, are you paying enough attention that you get caught up in your shit and you can discount and get upset because you don't feel comfortable, but when you feel into the discomfort, you can recognize the gratitude that discomfort is bringing up, that appreciation for, look at what's about to happen, because the discomfort's usually right before a major shift of something new and exciting that you don't know, so fear is popping in. Discomfort and fear go hand in hand, right? So yeah, I feel uncomfortable. I'm not sure I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm questioning everything that I know, right? Feel into the discomfort. That's the only way you're going to grow. It's in the discomfort we find the comfort. Breathing into the pain in the physical body, I'm able to go, wow, that passed a lot quicker. That went away. I feel so much more relief that I sat with that. Or the insights I receive in a meditation and when I journal, and I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, wow. And yeah, I can see other people's stuff, and all that really does is teach me about myself. So when I can sit with my stuff and also see it in other people, it gives me that opportunity to go, wow, look at how far I've come and how much compassion I can have for somebody else going through what I've been through. And that when I have issues with little things, I can joke about them. I can actually laugh at myself. There's nothing wrong with all my little quirks or my little baby heart attacks or all my little things. I love me. I like me. I like every aspect of myself. I like that when I look around the house, if something bothers me, I'm just going to take care of it, and I'm not going to try to point fingers at anybody, because really, I may have little quirks and moments, but the reality is I'm very happy with where I'm at. It's just sometimes the discomfort comes up, and I have to be reminded to turn around and go, this is all perfect. There's no good or bad. This is just right. This is perfect. And that I am showing up in my life, and that in itself is reminding me that there's no place else I need to be except for right here, right now. When I try to show up as something I'm not, that's when I'm the most unhappy. I've done it all of my life where I was doing things because I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing, and so much unhealthiness, whether it was what I thought was eating was right, or living a certain lifestyle, or hanging with a certain type of people, or traveling and living in a certain place. None of it really matters. It's just, where are you at right here, right now? Are you present with you? Are you embracing you? Are you being raw and authentic in your personal power? and just shining who you are and being what you came here to be. Some of us still are trying to figure all that out, all the details, but you don't even have to figure out the details. It will unfold, and you will align with it when it feels right. But when it's exhausting, like I said, when you're feeling the heat, you're gonna have to face it head on and just learn to lean into it, breathe into the discomfort. This is what I've been really striving to do, because I've had some moments, y'all. I'm like going, excuse me, I'm gonna say, are you effing kidding me? Don't you have those moments where you're like, are you kidding me? Really? Again? I'm back here? And then I have to reel myself back. And I'm going to tell you, this ego mind, this monkey mind that I have, I don't know about y'all, I can't speak for anybody but myself, but my mind can literally, and here's my old pattern. Here's part of what came up for me in the past couple days. Whew! Are you kidding me? I have to move my body. If I don't physically move and sweat and get like something, like my body has to move. And walking has really become better for me than running used to be. I would go and run in the past. I would go to the gym. I would do kickboxing, aerobics. That was the best medicine for me, along with, eating something light. But when I get very emotional or something upsets me, I lose my appetite. I can feel my stomach, again, that discomfort. And when that happens, I know what happens when you're in fight or flight, when your emotions get triggered, whether you get really excited or really upset. That creates the cortisol injection into your body. And what meditation and what Kundalini Yoga has done for me that I've learned is that when you meditate, you can come back to a neutral state like that. You are much more adaptable to stressful environments just through mindfulness and awareness and the practice of it and the breathing, because you have the tools and the awareness that, okay, that took me out of me, now let's bring it back. And so I can find myself shifting, that when I do get upset, my stomach will get all queasy, I lose my appetite, because I recognize. Now, part of me in the past, if I might eat something, but then I noticed it didn't digest properly. Why? Because you're not going to digest food well if you're emotionally upset and you've got this cortisol injection, which is, again, it's not a healthy mix with eating. So anybody out there who's ever had any food diseases with, or maybe emotional eating, consider how that you digest the food is how you are in the emotional and mental state, which is why it's so important to be mindful and present in every moment, especially when you're ingesting and bringing all those senses into balance. And so, when I've been feeling discomfort and I get upset, I want to run. I want to do something that's going to make me sweat. I want it, because that's how I get my stuff out. Last night I would have gone for a run. It popped up into my awareness. I'm like, holy crap, the old runner just came back, and you got to laugh, okay? So first off, I've got running sneakers from when I ran my last marathon in Florence, Italy. And I actually damaged the toes next to my big toes because the toe box, which is that space in front of your toes in your sneakers, was too short. So that toe kept hitting the edge of the shoe on the inside. It rubbed enough that toward the end of the Florence Marathon, as I got to Il Duomo, they were tender. The toenails, I didn't lose them entirely, but they were completely blood. You got the blood underneath. It was really, really tender. And the toenails never grew back well. In fact, they grew inward and was rubbing up against the big toe. So I had, for years, this was back in 2000 and, I got out of the Air Force in 2002, 3, 4. I think it was 2004 was Florence. Yeah, 2004. So these shoes are over almost 14 years old. That's funny. Actually, that's really funny. I can't believe I have these this long. They're Mizunos for anybody out there that's a runner. So I'm going to show you this. This is hilarious. Look at this. All the treads. See that white spot over here? This is all supposed to be the black, right? And this came off today. They don't match. This is hilarious. It's supposed to all be purple and black. Well, anyway, so I don't have proper running shoes. I have to get a new pair. That's on my list of many things that, I got to get rid of some stuff before I can get some stuff. That's kind of my own personal mental thing, that I didn't go and buy a new pair because, number one, I got to do the research. I haven't looked at running shoes in forever. And I want something that's going to be comfortable. And of course I want pretty colors, stuff that goes through my head. And so, shoes. If anybody has any suggestions, in the comments, tell me what your favorite shoe is. What's your favorite running shoe or walking shoe? What feels comfortable and what's light? And pretty colors too, if you got them. I got about a narrow foot. I'm an 8.5. 8.5. I say 8.5 for walking. And I prefer to try them on. So of course I'll probably go to the store and find them somewhere. And that's just how that's going to end up working out when it does. So yeah, when things arise for me, I want to do something that can at least keep myself out of my mind. And yeah, I could do the meditation, and last night was just not one of them. I did stuff that kept me busy and got me sweating and physically exerting, right? So I could put that energy into something that would be constructive, right? Not destructive. That's the thing. That's the key for me. It's always something, hey Rachel, how are you? It's always something that I want to create, not destroy. And that's been my entire life. I had self-destructive, self-sabotaging behavior throughout my younger years. I still consider myself young for 43. Thank you very much. But yeah, it's really like we have to find the calm within us. The peace within us is what's going to dictate what's outside of us, what we draw to us. Life shows up where we're at. I've seen it numerous times over and over again. I have to tell you that I know that there are a lot of people out there that are dealing with a lot of pain and suffering. And when you notice things that really take you out of your personal power, let's say, it's usually because you haven't dealt with the underlying issue that is confronting you from the internal side. I used to find little things, nitpicky things, probably because I was trained well from my parents. That's how that works, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. So I could see something that was wrong. I could pick apart a situation instead of looking at it and seeing the beauty in it. Now I feel I see the beauty in more things and less of any type of thing that would distract me from it. So when you're going through your day, ask yourself, what is showing up? And are you allowing yourself to stay in your personal power and keep that inner peace and be the calm within the chaos? Confront it all head on, because it's in there. It's all in there. Whatever you're getting out here is usually starting up in here. And it's just this receptivity. So that energy is coming right back at you, the boomerang. It's playing that game, right? Yeah. Life is really sweet though. And these days it just feels so much better, although I'm aware of all the craziness going on. It doesn't take me out anymore. It doesn't exhaust me. I don't waste my energy there. I find that is a place that I understand is healing is necessary for a lot of people. That, for those people that may be bullies, they usually need the most love because they were bullied. Compassion has to start with self. And when people are externally unkind and attacking, it's usually because of what's going on inside. So, say a little prayer. Say a little prayer for me, right? We can all say a little prayer for someone because we all deserve love, right? Yeah, that's beautiful, Cheryl. Look how beautiful it is outside. It's gorgeous, isn't it, darling? So, yeah, I'm feeling very grateful, and that's pretty much where I like to keep myself. But I have those moments when life happens, and the roller coaster ride is rocky. But it's whether or not I find myself able to lean into it and go with the flow and have trust and faith that no matter how it feels in the moment, I don't have to get caught up or attached to it. I can release that and I can get over it. Because it's never personal unless you choose it to be. It's never personal unless you allow it to be. When you allow it to become personal, now you've taken it out of your personal power. You've given away your personal power when you let something else. Oh, somebody wants a love spin boom. What? Okay, I can do that. Sustain your personal power, y'all. I'm going to love spin boom. I feel like I'm being called. Hold that thought. I got Buddy off to the side.